Some place to be nobody. Some place to be. Some place you wouldn't know probably.
What up, y'all? I choose me, I'm sorry. I choose me, I'm sorry. Thanks, drunk on. What is up, everybody? We are here late night, midnight Eastern time, 11 o'clock Central time. We're just doing a little bit of a casual stream here. Just trying to try some new things out with our channel. If you guys have been following us around, you know we've been majority a podcast for years, and we started in 2018. We built that thing up. And then we decided to start streaming live on Twitch and on YouTube, and our YouTube following has really grown. So we're trying to dabble in some things, including like some late night shows where we just try to interact with our viewers, because you viewers, you guys who watch these videos, comment on them, look at them. You guys are the absolute best. You guys are the ones who power us through and keep us afloat and keep us going. So we like to do sometimes like a little Ask Me Anything. Jake right now is going to sleep, if I'd imagine, because he's going on vacation soon and he has work tomorrow. A little ask us, want to ask some questions, want to about anything Bears, NFL, really just anything. Like that's what I'm here to do, man. Just kind of hang out, have a good time. So I know the usuals might come in here, ask some questions. So I'm reading chat here. If you guys want to pop anything in here, we'll ask them. And then I think what we might do in the future, maybe even tonight, if this gets any views or anything, we might like put the link out on social, so then you guys can join up into the stream yourself. Let me change the focus on this camera real quick. Yeah, what up, Shane? See, I knew. See, there's one thing that's inevitable in life. All right, there's one thing that's inevitable, and that is Shane M joining our live stream. It's inevitable. He does it every time. Imagine having to work tomorrow. Yeah. See, the good thing for me is, hold on, y'all. I am trying to figure out why this is. Is it auto focusing? This doesn't. Oh, here we go. I just graduated college, which means for me, I don't work until early June. So I've literally like when I tell you, I've been just, all day, all night, been working on like trying to create content, trying to just like hang out and then enjoy this time that I have without having to work and without having to do school for the remaining months that I have until I got to go back to that stuff. I'm literally just playing games right now, waiting for questions, just hanging out. Like again, we really value our relationship with our audience and with our fans. I don't want to call it that. That's just weird. With our people who watch our videos, that's better, because I don't think fans is like I don't really like that word when it comes to this. So pop in a question. Shane is here. And I'll answer anything, man. NFL, Bears, football in general, music, TV, sports. Does Mustipher or Kramer make the roster? Mustipher does not make the roster. I don't think there's any way Mustipher makes the roster, because the way you look at it is they have a lot of offensive line pieces now, which I'm totally happy about. And Mustipher is the one that has the most experience. Mustipher is the one that has been doing it. He's been there at the center position. He's got the experience, but guess what? He ain't very good. He hasn't been very good at the center position. We love our guy Mustipher here on the show. Shane M with the Mustipher. We were playing Moose Sounds like 2 episodes ago. It was freaking hilarious. Like, that's just like a running bit for us now. We have a few of those, and that's one of them. But I don't think he's going to make the roster. You get Braxton Jones in there. You get some of these other guys that I still can't remember completely off the top of my head. I know one of them just signed their contract. It wasn't Braxton Jones. It was one of the other 6-round guys. And then, obviously, you have Kramer who comes in. And Kramer's a bigger guy. He has obviously a guy in a late round pick who needs more development, but he's a guy who's going to be able to slot in there. And I don't think Mustipher is going to make the roster, but I think Kramer will. And the larger you have as Bears fans now, if you can hear me okay, I'm trying to get this mic here okay. And Shane says I never hated on him, but I remember commenters doing it all the time last season, right? Because we would reference him a little bit. Because I think people got mad at us, Shane, is actually what the problem was. People got mad at us because we repeatedly on the show would say, you know what, like, yeah, is Sam Mustipher playing well? No, he wasn't playing well last year, but is he giving you value for where he was drafted? At the time, this was your starting center for, a decent amount of games that year. And he was a 7th round, or he was undrafted. He was an undrafted player. Like, that's why you talk about finding value. Like, that's what good teams do. Like, you find, like, if you can get starting reps consistently out of an undrafted player or a 7th round player, which is why we've talked a little bit about Khyiris Tonga being like sort of an asset because he played last year and he's a 7th round pick. Like, that is value. Like, you are finding value. And that's why the people that liked Ryan Pace for all those years, and I was one of them, did I think it was time for him to be fired? 100%. But I was always a Ryan Pace defender because he was able to find value. But the problem is you have to pair that value with, the earlier round picks, and you got to make sure you're hitting on those as well. And he was not doing that. So that was problematic. But yeah, I mean, that it's funny, man, because we come in here and we have that bit with Sam Mustipher, but it's fun. I saw Tonga get a fumble recovery at Soldier Field last year. Shane M says, when did he get a fumble recovery? I don't remember that game. I do not remember that game that he got a fumble recovery. I don't remember that at all. Was that the Vikings game maybe late in the year? Was it the Giants game? Shane, if you could tell me what game that was, I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, Khyiris Tonga is a player that, like, out of nowhere could be a piece this year, right? You lose Eddie Goldman. Akeem Hicks is posting stuff on Twitter like we don't know. Like, he's posting sentimental Bears things as if he's going to return. I don't really think he is. The Mike Lennon game, of course. If you were to, like, I should have known. If you were to tell me one game that Khyiris Tonga would have gotten a fumble in, I should have known it was the Mike Lennon game, because who else is going to fumble a football like that? For those who are just kind of joining up, as I was telling Shane and some of the other people in here, we're just doing a casual little stream right here. Just, ask us anything. We like to have a good relationship with our viewers and with the people who are on the channel. And if you guys, I feel like a lot of people who are joining this right now, because we don't really, I don't know. Like, I don't know how many people who join the stream are like consistent viewers versus new viewers. I don't think YouTube tells us those stats, but there's a lot of people who are probably coming in here because they just watched our Jaquan Brisker breakdown, which is the perfect time for me to promote that. We just did a Jaquan Brisker breakdown on the page. Me and Kellen Gerenstein, one of the best scouts I know, is incredible. He did that for us. We have I am Scox in the chat. What up, baby? This is our guy, I am Scox. Always comes in here, always showing love and always showing support. I love Braxton Jones at LT so much. Been scouting him for months before the draft. This guy, let me tell you, on draft day, so we did, me and Kellen and Justin Kaufman, who's an Axios Chicago reporter. Again, Jake was out of town for this. We did like a 4-hour draft show on Saturday, and then we did like a 3-hour draft show on Friday, so the second round picks. And this guy, I am Scox, was in here saying, I love Braxton Jones so much. He was defending the pick. He was going crazy about it. I was like, yo, like, let's go, dude. I love it. So you need to give me, we might have to have I am Scox on to give him his spiel about Braxton Jones, because we haven't done our breakdown on him yet. That'll be coming in a few weeks. He's kind of lower on our list of priorities when it comes to the breakdowns. That's nothing against Braxton Jones. It's just we got to get to Dominique Robinson. We probably like to do Elijah Hicks. And then I think we're going to group all the offensive linemen together. Where's Olin? Olin Kreutz? I don't know. This is not CHGO. This is not 670 The Score. This is Bears Nation Podcast. I am out here just doing. I love Braxton Jones too. He's a dog. Eric and I am Scox, come in the chat right now. Tell me what you like about Braxton Jones. I have not done my deep dive on him yet. That is my fault. I'm a busy guy. Well, not as much lately because I graduated and I'm hanging out until I start work. But just kidding. Hey, man, we've never had Olin on. We've had Hogan, though. So if we have Hogan again, we might have to hear the story of him and Olin. Shane M says, did you do media stuff at Ohio State while you're there? Yeah, I did, Shane. Take a look at this, man. This right here is all my media credentials from Ohio State. All this right here. So we got here. I actually got some good ones in here. You see that one? Rose Bowl Media Day. There's another Rose Bowl one. Oh, let's see if I got one more good one for you, because these are all just mainly Ohio State games. But where's my national championship one? I got a national championship one in here. Here, how about this? National championship. So yeah, I did media stuff. I did like video stuff and videographer, and I've got lots of videos of Justin Fields and things of that nature and highlights of the team. Olin is in jail. R.I.P. Adam O. Yeah, man. I don't know what happened over there, but we won't get into that too much because I don't even know. But it seems like that's fizzled down now. We actually, I'm going to be playing against CHGO in the media softball league that they have in Chicago. They got a media softball league that they play on Monday nights. And I was in it last year. Me and Justin and Kaufman, we were on Chicago for Real's team last year because Chicago for Real is the network that actually picked us up initially and had us get started with like live streaming and stuff. And we went 13-0 in the media softball league against like Odyssey, which is 670 the score. So like Shane Reardon, all the guys over there, WBEZ, WGN Radio. I know some guys over there. Ernie Scatton, who does the producing there, is incredible. He's a great friend of mine. CHGO joined this year, The Reader, The Onion. And we went 13-0 last year. And then I had to leave for school, so I couldn't make the playoffs. So our team lost first round of the playoffs. But I'll be playing on a different team this year. I can't say which team I'm playing on this year, but we got some good teams in there. WGN TV is in there, so it's a lot of fun. We've been trying to figure out how to like stream the playoffs and everything. But 16 in softball. If any of you guys are in this chat from Chicago, I don't know how many of you are. You'll know, or really Illinois, you'll know 16 in softball is legit, and it's fun as hell. Shane says JK about the Olin thing, but. Yeah, man. I got to put these damn credentials back because Shane asked me to bring them out, or he didn't ask me to bring them out. I just want to show him. I like to flex these little credentials right here. But hop in with a question, more questions. I'm bored. I literally have nothing to do. I was like, you know what? I might as well. Jalen Hurts. What about Jalen Hurts? 007? 007, actually. Big Skyfall guy. What about Jalen Hurts? I got some opinions on Jalen Hurts. I actually gave a little bit of opinions on him when I did my breakdown of the Bears-Eagles game, which you can find. We did a breakdown with the Windy City not a breakdown. We did a schedule reaction video with the Windy City Productions. He's a great Twitter name, and he does these highlight videos and does YouTube videos. And we did a schedule prediction with him, and I was talking a little bit about the Eagles game, and I was like, at that point, is it possible Jalen Hurts could be benched at that point? And I don't think that's crazy. I mean, obviously, there's a little bit of faith in Philadelphia, in Gardner Minshew, who is still there. And if Hurts struggles, which they seem to have a little bit of issues with him last year, then I could see them making a change, because Gardner Minshew has hit, like, this isn't just like, oh, let's just try to give Gardner Minshew a chance. Like, no, Gardner Minshew has done it at a pretty high level. And 007 says, I know Hurts sucks. I mean, I wouldn't say he sucks. He definitely sucks. He's a player who definitely needed more development and is waiting to get into the right system in the right situation with the right personnel around him. And he has that now, which means there's no excuses for Jalen Hurts. You have A.J. Brown, you have Devonta Smith, you have pieces around you. You have a solid running game with Kenneth Gainwell, who I think is still there, right? And Miles Sanders. But, Hurts is a dynamic player, and he's a game-breaking type player. When you have that much speed, and he's similar to Justin Fields in that aspect, it's just, the accuracy and the IQ and reading defenses is something that is just not there yet. But you also have to remember, when you talk about value, which we'll get to a second with Shinem, the value you're getting from Hurts is still relatively there. It's just, what is going to happen this year. It's the second year of the new offensive system with Sirianni there. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Hurts struggles a little bit and he has a shorter leash and they go to Gardner Minshew, especially if they're struggling. If they're a 2-4 team or something, or if they're a 3-4 team and they need to make a change and they're selling out to get a quarterback next year, then 100%, because this quarterback class is good. A lot of questions coming in. I'm going to try to get out to them. Is great value Justin Fields? What do you mean, Shane? Because Justin, you're talking about the value conversation I was having earlier? Yeah, that's great value. Are you kidding me? Getting Justin Fields at the 11th overall pick last year, I think it was 11, right? I always forget which draft slot it was. Let me check again. You think I would know this for the amount of stuff I do on Chicago Bears? 11th. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was 11th overall pick. Great value. Wait. What? Is a great value Justin Hurts. Oh, Jalen Hurts. Oh, Jalen Hurts is a great value Justin Fields. I get you. I 100% get you. Okay. Eric Fenton. This is a crazy, Eric, I love you, my man. This is a crazy question. You want to know why? Because he says, do you think Equanimeous St. Brown or Darnell Mooney will be our number one? You're halfway right, or you're halfway right, because it's not going to be Equanimeous St. Brown. I will tell you that right now. It's not going to be Equanimeous St. Brown. Equanimeous St. Brown probably, in my opinion, won't break 200 yards this year. But Darnell Mooney is a number one, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again on this show. Anytime you tune in, I will talk about it. Darnell Mooney is legitimate number one, and the narrative around the Chicago Bears wide receiver core is the fact that it's not good, it's lower tier, it's subpar, it's not as good as many other teams. Well, guess what? I still think it's better than the New England Patriots, but there's no conversation about that, but that's a conversation for another day. Darnell Mooney, though, is a number one wide receiver. He will collect 1,200 yards this year, and the narrative around the Chicago Bears receiving core changes once you understand that Darnell Mooney is a wide receiver one. That is my spiel to you. This is crazy that you think Equanimeous Brown can have a solid 800, 900 yards this year. He is a one-dimensional player at the moment, in my opinion. He is returning to the Luke Getsy offense, and there's people who like that. But guess what he did in the Luke Getsy offense with Aaron Rodgers and all those years? Not much, you know? And, God, I hope he succeeds. But if I had to guess, he's a 200, 300-yard receiver this year. You got to share, you know, if you have Equanimeous St. Brown getting 800, 900 yards, I don't think you're going to have Darnell Mooney getting 1,200, Cole Kmet getting 900, Byron Pringle getting 800. It's just not going to add up that way. We got more stuff here. Sucks as franchise QB passer. I mean, he's decent. The team is so good now. The Eagles team is good, but this is what's interesting about the Bears and the NFL in general. And this is really, really important is when you think about the position of a team like the Bears and a position of a team like the Eagles, do the Eagles have better talent on paper? Do they have better player personnel? Do they have better periphery players around their quarterback? Yes, 100%. I won't argue that. They do. They do. The receivers are better. Their defense, I would say, is comparable, maybe worse than the Bears. I can't remember who they picked up in the offseason, but the question they have is, do they have the franchise quarterback? And if you came to me and said, which offense would you rather have? The Eagles offense that has Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith and all these guys, and Miles Sanders, kind of Gainwell, relatively okay offensive line, you could say, would I rather have that with Jalen Hurts at QB, or would I rather have Justin Fields, who I think it has the ceiling to be a top 5, top 7 QB in the NFL in the coming years, although he doesn't have the periphery pieces? Yes, I'd take that all day, which is the conversation about a lot of teams. You know, you can put all this talent around quarterbacks. You can put all this talent around your team in all different facets. But guess what? It's not going to mean anything if you don't have the quarterback to do it. This is a quarterback league nowadays, and it's rare. It's possible. It's possible to get to the promised land, to get, you know, up the ranks and into the playoffs and deep into the playoffs without a superstar quarterback. We've seen it in the past. We've seen it not as much now than in the past, but we've seen it. But I'm feeling good about the position that the Bears are in comparison to other teams, because although they don't have the best talent around Justin Fields, they do have Justin Fields, while other teams have a Daniel Jones or a Jalen Hurts or situations like that. You know what I mean? I know I'm sorry, I'm trying to get all these questions. You guys are coming in hot right now. I know people are saying Zach Thomas is a right guard, but I think he fits more at left guard. Why do people think he's a right guard? I'm not exactly sure yet. Eric. I haven't done my whole breakdown on Zach Thomas yet. We're going to do that breakdown soon. Let me check right now. Did he play what'd you say? Did he play right guard in college? He might have played right guard in college, and that's why I would have to check. I'll get back to you. Oh, he played tackle. That's right. He played tackle in college. I'm not sure. He might have the flexibility to do both. He's a good athlete. He played 17, so he started 41 times in the offensive line for his career, including 17 at right tackle, 12 at left tackle, and only 2 snaps at right guard. So he has the ability to do it, he just hasn't done a lot. The thing with a guy like that, and with a lot of guys, is if you have faith in your offensive line coaching staff, you can transition that pretty well if they have the skill set that fits both positions, and it appears that he's done. So I think he could be a right guard just because he's played that in college and he hasn't played left guard. I've watched the team Bruce Guy, seen able to take to someone I feel more comfortable with Brax over. Wow. Adam Scott saying he feel comfortable more with Braxton Jones over Borum. That's a hot take, my man. Yoke, what up, man? Curious, you seem like one of the only Bears podcasts that support the biscuit, which are you going to be cheering? Hey, check this out, T-Hill. Hold on, man. Come on. Where is it? I had it somewhere in here. Let's see where I got it. Come on, baby. Come on now. Come on, we still got it. It's the biscuit, baby. Yeah, I'm going to be cheering him out. Yeah, no, the love is not gone for Mitch Trubisky, because if there's one thing people should understand about it, doesn't matter to what rate, to what capacity you think Matt Nagy had an influence on the quarterbacks, both Mitch Trubisky and Justin Fields. It is a fact that Matt Nagy had an influence on those guys, and it was a negative influence. I'm rooting for Mitch Trubisky, man. He got the short end of the stick. This guy was not treated well by the fan base. He wasn't treated well by the team. Wasn't treated well by the organization. He deserved better. He got better in Buffalo. He earned a starting position in Pittsburgh, and every Bears fan should be rooting for him. You should is Mitch Trubisky was he ever going to really ever live up to his top 3 pick status? No, he won't. He never will. But he deserves better. His career was derailed, and everyone should be rooting for him to get a second chance. Everyone should be rooting for him to get a second chance because he deserves that after how he was treated in Chicago. 100% agree with that. I really, really hope that he gets an opportunity, a legit opportunity. I don't think Kenny Pickett is the answer for them in Pittsburgh, but I hope at least Mitch gets the opportunity. I'm very invested in Bears for the first time because of Fields. 100%, Shane. I mean, I think a lot of people are, and people don't understand yet that the impact that having a good quarterback does to your team. Like when you talk about ticket sales, when you talk about primetime games, when you talk about attraction to your team, all those things come from the quarterback position. All of them, man. If you have a marquee quarterback, the rest of your team can be trash, and you will be the center of attention on First Take every morning. You'll get more primetime games than most teams because you have an electrifying quarterback that's going to make the game interesting, that's going to put fans in the seats. So that's why when you talk about I'm very invested for the Bears for a long time, that is why you say that. Is because of it's Justin Fields. Left tackle. Okay, Eric. Yeah, I thought my Eagles were drafting Fields. Really? You really thought they would draft Fields in 2018? That's crazy. Life as an Eagles fan, got to realize the league QBs run the league. Hey, I mean, you guys had Donovan McNabb. You had Nick Foles, our guy as well. But yeah, you guys got to sell out for one of those elite guys coming up. Yeah, T-Hulk. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. And I don't want to use the phrase Trubisky truther or none of that, but I obviously and look, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I think I was, for the most part, proven right about my takes about Mitch Trubisky for all this time. If T-Hulk, you've been listening for a while, or any of you guys have listened to this podcast since the Trubisky days, you would know how I felt about that and know that I was, for the most part, proved right that he was, he wasn't put in the best position to succeed. That's how it ended. Steelers versus Bears Super Bowl this year. If this would be the most. Or Bears Chiefs, and then the Bears beat Matt Nagy, but Matt Nagy's role isn't big enough to make that a significant enough storyline. But Steelers Bears, Mitch Trubisky, that'd be phenomenal. Obviously, that would be just incredible. Nagy messed up Fields last year, 100% he did. And there was some source somewhere, I saw it on Twitter, I don't even know if this is reliable, do not quote me on this, that was saying his source said that like Nagy wasn't paying attention to Fields at all, wasn't helping him at all from the inception of training camp to the end of the season. I don't know if that's true or not, but whether that is true, I don't even need a source to tell me this. I don't even need a source to tell me the impact Matt Nagy had on Justin Fields. And people ask, well, why are the Bears going to be a better team? You watch my record prediction video. I had them going 10-7, actually modified that. I had them at 9-8 now. And you think, why do I have that? Am I a psycho? Am I stupid? Am I dumb? No, maybe a little bit, but no, it's because I truly think that the Bears are a better football team just because Matt Nagy is gone. You could have put a bucket as the coach, and I think they'd be a better football team, in my opinion. Second team is the Ravens. Hey, I love Lamar Jackson. Hey, be nice to Trubisky, though. Be nice. If the Eagles had OL and play calling, he'd be a top QB in the NFC. I don't know about that yet. I don't know. I mean, I think I just need to see more from Jalen Hurts, from just a smarter gameplay, a better, more utilization of the arm and pocket passing instead of utilization of his legs when it's, of course, the case with Justin Fields as well. Like if you're forced to use your legs, that's not his fault, right? The pocket is collapsing. The play designs are 4 curls that require you to get out of the pocket. Yes, those are things that are going to require you to use your legs, but, be a pass first guy. I still think Justin Fields is a pass first guy. It was asked to be on the run a lot. I think if Hurts was able to adopt that pass first ideal, he could be what you think he is. Over under on takeaways this season. I'd set it at 25. So the Colts had, I want to say 33 last year or something like that. The Bears have built a secondary that is prone to getting takeaways. I don't know if they're going to have enough pressure to get a lot of strip sack takeaways. But I'll say 25 is where I would set it at. I know that seems lofty, but this is what Matt Eberflus does. Like when he came to Indy, his team was top 10 in takeaways all the years since he came to Indy. Like that is real. That's not fake. And they have guys who have proven to get takeaways. If Eddie Jackson returns to form, which we believe he will, if you watch the Jaquan Brisker breakdown, another promotion of that video that just came out 2 hours ago, you'll understand why Eddie Jackson's going to have 5 interceptions this year, in our opinion. Did Jake hate Mitch? He hated Mitch. He was Foles. We had a Foles versus Mitch debate every day in 2020 during that training camp, and he was all Foles. Mitch sucks, all this, and I was all Mitch. He should start. He's the better option. All that. And T Hulk, pat yourself, Kev. You were right. I was. I have to say. Carson Strong. Ooh, Carson Strong. When was he what round was he drafted in? Was he in the 4th round? I can't remember. 007. Was he in the 4th round? If the Eagles can go 9 and make playoffs, the Bears can do that this year 100%. And the Eagles last year are a good example of why I think the Bears can make the playoffs this year. The Eagles last year were not supposed to be a playoff team. First-year head coach, right? Everyone wants to make the claim that the Bears can't be a playoff team because they have a first-year head coach. That is just completely not true. And statistically, even as Bears fans, you should know that because Matt Nagy made the playoffs in 2018. If the Eagles can go 9 and make the playoffs, the Bears can do that this year. 100%. I 100% agree with that, Shane. And I think they could definitely get in at 9 and 8. Obviously, with the 7th seed, that's completely possible. I have a hunch that one of the Braxton at LT or Zach Thomas at right guard will start day 1. They are opposed guys. Sorry, just love talking the whole line. I'm Scotch, man. I love it, man. I appreciate anything you comment in here, bro. It's awesome, man. You're always in here. Hey, man, that's a hunch. I mean, that right guard hole has yet to be filled. So we need somebody in that right guard spot. It could very well be Zach Thomas. It could very well be Braxton Jones. I mean, Larry Bourne was a 5th-round pick last year. Those guys are 6th-round picks, and Larry Bourne got some tick last year. So unless they get anyone else, I think those could be guys. I'm going to the Matt Nagy revenge game at Soldier Field in August. The preseason game. What's that first preseason game against the Chiefs? That's gonna be hilarious, man. I love how it's the Matt Nagy revenge game. Like, no, it's not. I don't even think Nagy sniffed 25. That's incorrect. The Bears had 38 takeaways in 2018. I think it was 35 or 38, which was a Nagy-led team in 2018. It was an insane amount of takeaways. I mean, you guys remember that, right? I agree. The new O-line depth is may not at all develop, but I see the vision. I did not read that properly. I'll read that again. I agree. The new O-line depth is amazing. They may not all develop, but I see the vision. The vision is this. I'll tell you the vision. People wondered why they took so many O-line players, and I was a little bit upset at the time. I still think they could have. I'm not going to, justify every single pick. I think they could have taken one wide receiver instead of an O-line, Justin Ross. But the idea of drafting that many O-linemen is that you just have bodies there. If you think about the Bears O-line the past few years, not only was it a bad personnel unit, they also were decimated with injuries. You were left scraping for undrafted guys. You were left scraping for free agents who were 39 years old. And God, I love Jason Peters for what he did last year because he was absolutely incredible. But you were left with those things. Now, if a guy goes down, it's not the end of the world. You got 4 more guys on the bench who still are rookies who could have promise. You don't know if you find a gem. I'd rather have that than an undrafted guy or, a 40-year-old free agent. I already read this comment. What up, T. Holt? Damn, 25 is a lot, my guy. I read that too. My dad's a Chiefs fan. I've always wanted to watch Mahomes even if it's for 2 quarters in preseason. Yeah, and I'll say it right now. I think there is a chance. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm not going to say that anymore. I thought maybe a few years ago there was a chance Patrick Mahomes to be the greatest football player of all time. But the reason why I don't think I'll say that anymore is because, unfortunately for him, I think he has to get just as many rings as Tom Brady to reach that status. And the thing that would terrify me if I was a Chiefs fan, what should terrify your dad, Shane, as a Chiefs fan, is, the AFC, not just this year, but the next 4 years is going to be a freaking gauntlet, man. Tell me who comes out of the AFC. You have a loaded Chargers team who I think are a dark horse to win the conference. You have the Chiefs, obviously, who are year after year going to be in contention. You have the Ravens, who have an MVP at the helm. You have the Bengals, who are, the reigning AFC champions, who also have Joe Burrow, who's going to be around. You have the Browns, who, Deshaun Watson's going to lead that team. You have the Broncos with Russell Wilson. I mean, there's just so many elite quarterbacks and elite teams that the AFC, Justin, this is why I said Justin Fields, it is so wide open for Justin Fields to own the NFC in 2 years, to absolutely own it. Once Tom Brady's gone, if he will ever be gone, once Aaron Rodgers is gone, if he will ever be gone, the NFC is wide open. It's Justin Fields' conference in 2 years if he wants to take it. So 100%. Kevin still wishes They got Justin Ross. I do, man. I do. And look, the Chiefs, man, we're all going to be looking dumb because the Chiefs got to steal in Justin Ross as long as he stays healthy. I saw some of the videos that the Chiefs posted on their Twitter, I think, and Instagram of Justin Ross doing workouts at minicamp, and I was like, damn it, man, he looks like the same guy that we thought he was when we scouted him. He looks like the same guy. And I just, there was a question, I don't know what the final determination was of why he fell as far as he did, like not just undrafted. Like this guy wasn't picked up to like 4 days after the draft. Like I was still on Twitter 4 days after undrafted signings were happening. Like, yo, at Chicago Bears, where's Justin Ross? Like, what are we doing? So I do wish they got him. I think the Chiefs got to steal. I know people want to see Fields start to open up, but the way Post is trying to beef up the O-line, I'm excited to see Monte get fully unleashed. And they just said today they are transitioning into a heavy run, a run-heavy offense that's going to be primarily outside zone. I don't know if any of you guys saw that today. So this is Monty getting fully unleashed 100%. And look, I think Monty's a phenomenal player. I think he's going to be a top 7 fantasy running back, maybe a top 5 fantasy running back in this offense this year for all you fantasy football nerds out there. Well, I'm one of them too because I'm a fantasy football nerd and I freaking love it like it's my life. But yeah, man, I mean, it's not. And now don't get it twisted, T-Hulk. It's not just David Montgomery. It is Khalil Herbert. It is, I'm blanking on the name. What's the name? Someone pop it in the chat. Baylor kid from this year, the rookie we drafted. I know I don't seem like a great Bears analyst right now, forgetting his name. Trent Ebner. It'll be him. Like, it's not just going to be Dave Montgomery. I'll tell you that. And because the reason why is Dave Montgomery might most likely won't be on the team next year. So Khalil Herbert's going to have to be up next. He's going to get that time this year. My boy, Kellen. What is up? He said, that boy said, fuck it, I'm going live, and did it. I did. I literally tweeted. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, you don't have to. I don't really tweet much from my Twitter about anything. But I was like, you know what? I'm bored as hell. It's 12:30 a.m. I got shit to do. I'm going live on YouTube. I want to go live. I want to talk Bears. Who wants to go live? And I did just that. So I got Kellen again. This is a perfect time to promote. We just did our Jaquan Brisker breakdown. It's got like I don't know how many. It's got a decent amount of views right now. I think Kellen. You guys got to check that out, man. Kellen is just the most unreal scout. He will be an NFL scout in coming years. So if you guys want a glimpse of how an NFL scout thinks, you got to check that out because this guy is incredible. I'm Scocks. I will say instead of drafting safety, punch, and seventh, why not take wide receiver and DL? The thing was, like, interestingly enough, I think they had this outlook that after the draft they were going to get, Tajay Sharp, they were going to get Dante Pettis, and they simply needed a punter. They could have gotten that guy undrafted, but also there's nothing wrong with safety depth, and with a guy who I think is Elijah Hicks is primarily going to play the gunner role and be a super strong special teams unit. I think in a lot of ways, the way they drafted this year, they're prioritizing that and they're making sure that they're going to get the special teams straight this year, with their coverage units and drafting a lot of athletes, man, a lot of athletic players. I would like to have seen another wide receiver. I definitely would have, but it is what it is. We got Velus Jones Jr. and they signed a bunch of freaking guys. So it's not like they don't have bodies anymore. Like they have bodies in the room. And there's guys like Daz Newsome who are like, I don't know if he's going to make the roster. A friend of the program, Daz Newsome, had an interview with us last year. He was a great guy. There's just a lot of bodies now. I think he should make it, but I'm not too worried about them not drafting wide receiver. Those were the most questionable picks to me. Why not take a flyer on some late round potential and skill positions? Yeah, I still agree. There wasn't a ton of wide receivers I still liked at that point, but I wouldn't have mind taking one of those guys. So I literally had to pause right here because Shane M says, hot take, Monty will have more yards than Derrick Henry. This is probably incorrect. As a Bears fan, I'm optimistic and I'm very positive. That is probably incorrect. No. That's simply not going to happen unless Derrick Henry gets injured, in my opinion. I mean, Derrick Henry is unstoppable. Come on now. Jay Sanders. What's up, Jay Sanders? Bears win 5 games max. Incorrect. Think about it this way, and this is the only argument I'll make because I'm not going to give you my 30-minute spiel about why I think the Bears could be an 8-9 win and at their peak, at their ceiling, a 10-win football team. They won 6 games last year with the second hardest schedule in the NFL, with the worst coach in the NFL, with a team that did not put any of their players, not just quarterback position, in position to win or in position to succeed. They were 3 one-score losses away. They were a taunting penalty from Tony Corrente, the bullshit penalty on Cassius Marsh, a Tyler Huntley, miracle 1-minute drive because the secondary stank it up that game play. And What was the other third one score game? There was one more and a Vikings game. They lost 17-9. Those are 3 1-score games. If they win those 3 games, and we'll just say 2. We'll just say those 2 games. We'll just say the Steelers game and the Ravens game, because I guess the Vikings game was a little bit more out of reach because that was 8 points and that was just kind of a weird game. They win those 2 games. They're an 8-win football team last year with everything with switching the quarterbacks, with not getting Justin Fields to start from the jump, with all the turmoil in the training camp, and just the whole mess it was, like the injuries and the O-line not healthy. All those things considered, they won 6 games and were 2 1-score games. They were a few plays away from winning 8 games. This is at least a 7-win football team this year. I think they're a 9-win football team. That's my final take. We recorded a podcast about the whole schedule. And we did, because I did this little video with the Windy City Prods, and then Jake and I, as we do our weekly podcast, we did it. And I don't know if Shannon, I think you were watching, maybe there was some serious lag, there's some serious echo. So I tried to go into editing on Adobe, and it was not salvageable. So, and Jake's going to Portugal next week. So maybe we'll get Kellen on here for that. Flores 4-13. Jay Sanders is laughing. I think Jay Sanders. Shane, I think you got somebody laughing at you in the chat, man. Jay Sanders is not liking your take, I think, if I had to guess, about Derrick Henry. Okay. Flores 4-13, ceiling's 13-4. Ceiling's not 13-4. It's not, Shane. I don't think it is. I think the ceiling's 10-7. The floor could be 4-13 if things go really bad, but I don't think the ceiling's that high. Come on, Shane. You know I'm optimistic. I don't even go that high. I think the ceiling's 10-7, or maybe a ceiling. If we're talking about real ceiling, that's 11-6, maybe. There's tiers, and the second ceiling is 10-7, and the floor is it could be 4-13. And I personally think the floor is like 6-11, in my opinion. That's just me, though. I think again, like I just said, all things considered, the team is completely different, Mac. Okay, and here's what I'll say. Jakeem Grant wasn't an asset to this team in any other way that, different guys can be. Yeah, he wasn't. He made 2 great plays against the Packers. Aside from that, he wasn't utilized well enough to be considered a major loss for this team. Khalil Mack, love the guy, was non-existent last year. How many games did Khalil Mack play in this year where he was a factor? Tell me that. I mean, 100% tell me that. Daniels, that's a loss. I'll agree with that. That's a loss. But Daniels and Peters are losses, but I'll tell you this. The offensive line overall is better. 100% agree. The offensive line is better than it was last year, although they lost Daniels and Peters. Hicks didn't play last year, wasn't really a factor. Robinson wasn't a factor at all. Whether that's his fault or not, wasn't a factor. So I don't think losing Allen Robinson is like a ginormous loss for the Chicago Bears. I think Darnell Mooney this year will be better than Allen Robinson was in 2018. I guess you could say that's my hot take, is that Darnell Mooney in 2022 will be better than what Allen Robinson was in 2018. Allen Robinson was damn good in 2018 and 2019, but I think Darnell Mooney is just, I think the major thing for me, and we did a breakdown on Darnell Mooney last year, was the connection with Justin Fields is there, man. Like, it is there, and we talked a lot about, what was it, Yankee concept. Kellen, if you're still in here, the Yankee concept with Justin Fields and Darnell Mooney is what Justin Fields thrived on in college at Ohio State, and what Darnell Mooney is going to thrive on. I'm just itching to get to training camp again this year. Damn, I need a better way of getting tickets. I went twice last year. The best way of getting tickets is just, asking the damn Chicago Bears to lower the prices. I mean, I would love to go to more Chicago Bears games, but I simply can't because the prices are too high. This is blowing my mind. You got, oh my God. Do I have the Dalton haircut? Is that what we consider this? This is like a 1-2 fade, taper fade kind of way around, about half inch. I really just went to the barber. What do you think? Is it good or bad that I have the Dalton haircut? Is that good? Is that bad? Were we thinking Dalton was looking fly? I thought Dalton was looking pretty fly. What do you think? I thought Dalton was looking good on the sideline tonight. He'd take that helmet off, and I was like, damn, man. I mean, he's got a little bit of flow. Dalton hair is a little bit longer than mine, though. His would go up, and it would curl back. But you know what? Bateau, I'll take that as a compliment. 10 wins, 10 wins would be tough, but that's the max for sure. I like how a bunch of people are probably going to leave after the little hair spiel. I definitely think that's the max. How's the O-line better when we don't know who's starting? We do know who's starting. I mean, we know it's going to be Lucas Patrick was an extreme upgrade. He's going to be the best player on the O-line, and he's better than any player on the O-line last year. I think he's a better player than James Daniels. In my opinion, I think Lucas Patrick's really, really good. That's an upgrade overall. Cody Whitehair, we know, is there. Is he great? No. Is he there? Yes, he's there. He's a guy who's going to get it done. He's not terrible. And that's it. For what we saw from the Bears for the past 4 years, all I'll take is not terrible. Tevin Jenkins to me is a good player. And with the switch between him and Borum, switching sides, I think that's going to be beneficial for them. The only question we have is at right guard. So you say we don't know who's starting. Well, we do, except for right guard. And yeah, it's a big hole. And because I think Lucas Patrick is going to play center. That's a big hole, but I'm not worried. I'm less worried about figuring that out than figuring out multiple positions out last year and being uncomfortable with guys that you had, that being Jermaine Ifedi, that being Jason Peters, that being, Sam Mustapher. Like, you got better on the offensive line. We lost Jeffrey James and Jesper Horsted. Man, I like Jesper Horsted, man. I really did. I really liked him. And then he had, he failed a physical. What is up with these guys with the Bears failing physicals? First, Larry Ogunjobi had started free agency, which I still wish we had in our team. It really sucks that he failed that physical. And then Jesper Horsted, and then brought him back and put him on the PUP list. I don't even know. The Bears head ends will be fine this year, though. O-line is better because we aren't signing stopgaps. So as long as we see some progress, the better direction, but maybe not better talent yet. 100%, Eric Fenton, 100%. You can't play that signed a veteran game all the time. It will be impossible to go to Bears games when we win the North every year. Exactly. When tickets are $300 for the nosebleeds at Soldier Field, the thing you have to remember is Chicago's third biggest city in the country, and Soldier Field is one of the smallest stadiums in the NFL. Those two do not pair well, especially for a city that is so big on football like Chicago is. Who's a better special teamer, Jakeem Grant or Velus Jones Jr., rookie? That's Jakeem Grant. Jakeem Grant was brought in and was traded for, what was he traded for? A 6th-round pick or 5th-rounder? Was he traded for a 5th-rounder last year? He might have been a 5th-rounder. He traded for that to be a special teamer. They had nobody to return punts. They had nobody to return kicks. They were signing guys off the street who were fumbling in games. I forget the name of the guy who fumbled in that one game. They brought Jakeem Grant in to be a special teamer, and he's one of the best to do it currently. I wouldn't say that, but he's elite level returner, 100%. Velus Jones Jr., he has the ability to do it, but just at the moment, Jakeem Grant he's elite at returning, specifically punts. He doesn't really do kickoffs, but. No, the training camp tickets are interesting. Oh, training camp tickets? I didn't even talk about training camp tickets. Oh, I see what you mean. I am Skyx. Training camp tickets. Yes, they are free. The problem was there's a lottery, there's a raffle on the website, I think, because it's at House Hall now. You have to go through a raffle process to get in. Isn't it a raffle process? Which is it's good for the players. It's good for the organization that they're back at House Hall. But it was fun. Bourbonnais it was a fun fan experience. I thought, I didn't go to Bourbonnais too many times because it's really far from the city, but I thought it was a fun fan experience there. The reason Monty won't have more than Henry is because we're going to have a Packer-style running back duo. I don't know. You could be right, Shane. I don't know if I would go that. Actually, I think that's pretty valid. Thinking about the role that A.J. Dillon had, obviously, A.J. Dillon's not comparable to Khalil Herbert. As far as the way they run, because A.J. Dillon's a bruiser and Khalil Herbert's a strong guy, but he's not what A.J. Dillon is. I mean, the guy's got quads bigger than Saquon Barkley, which I thought was impossible. But I think as far as the snap shares, I think that could be correct. I'll die on the hill that Lucas Patrick is good. His numbers are there to back it up when he played. Lucas Patrick is a guy who can do it, man. I do. And there's a reason, he's back with Luke Getsy. If I can find, I'm trying to look for his stats, because there was a stat that I saw, he didn't allow a sack in a certain number of snaps or anything. I don't know. He's not a backup. He started 13 games last year and he started 15 games in 2020. So definitely not a backup. Patrick was one of the one free agent you mean overall, Eric Fenton? Because that's low-key true. And this is the thing, don't get it twisted. You have to ask yourself about the Bears' approach to the offseason and the evaluation of them over the offseason. Would you rather have been the Bears this year or the Jaguars this year? Jaguars next year are going to be -17. They're going to be $17 million under cap. Okay. They went all out for players who are sort of good and aren't great. And I'm fine with the Bears sitting back doing what they did and having $150 million next year, most in the league, to spend on whoever they want to spend. And maybe they like the free agent market next year better, and that's why they did that. I still hope I'm praying that they bring in an OBJ or they bring in a Julio Jones or somebody of that nature. I'm praying that they do. But if you compare the Bears offseason to that of the Jaguars, who many people think are in similar situations, I think the Bears are in a better situation than them. I take the Bears offseason all day, 100%. The one time we used Grant as an offensive weapon versus GB, he goes the F off. Yeah. And that's why, like, you got a glimpse of what can happen when you utilize pieces like that, and that's what the same way that I hope the Bears utilize Velus Jones Jr. A lot of motion, a lot of end arounds, a lot of different things. He's a versatile player who can do all those things. I got TC tickets with great. Oh, nice, yeah, Great Bag's a good friend of mine, man. He's been on the show a few times. He's a great dude, man. I forgot he was doing those giveaway tickets. I just want to watch the Bears now. Me too, Shane. We are. What's the counter? Bears Nation podcast should create a counter, a season start counter, so people can check that every day. I think it's probably like 120 days, 30 days maybe until the season starts. Poles got Patrick because he was cheap. He started because of injuries. Well, we talked earlier on the show about value, and if you can get a player like Lucas Patrick for cheap, which they did, I forget what the contract was. Let me check that right now. Then you are getting value, and that is a W. Okay. This is a guy who can play. This is a guy who has done it the past 2 years, and 2 years, $8 million deals, $4 million a year for a guy who's going to be your starting center and who's going to be good 100%. What is this? I was just probably. Oh, I see what you mean. That's why Jay Sanders comment being bad. Yeah, I want that $150 million too, 100%. Like, I think the Bears are going to be a playoff team. Yes, I do. I think they're a 9-8 playoff team. In the NFC, that's a weak conference. I think there's a chance only one team comes out the NFC East. There's a chance only, one team comes out the NFC South, or maybe two. I mean, if anyone believes that much in the Saints, which is up in the air, Bears can make the playoffs. And if you were to make the playoffs this year, you are ahead of schedule, and you are in prime position to spend $150 million and win the Super Bowl in 2024, which would be 2023-2024 season. So 2 seasons from now. Rams, of course, number 1 team in the NFC. Packers are up there. I don't want to admit it, but they're going to be good as long as Aaron Rodgers is there. The Buccaneers are going to be up there. And after that, it's, the Vikings are just, I don't know. It's a toss-up. I think the Vikings are a good team. I think they're great. Bears list of NFC teams in the conference right now. He says Rams 1, Bucks 2, Packers 3, Cowboys 4. I think all those things. All those 3 are correct. Number 5, number 6, exactly. So here you go. Number 5, number 6, and number 7. The wild card teams are toss-ups. Like, could the Eagles be a wild card team? Yes. Could they also not be a wild card team? 100%. I 100% think so. The Washington football team to me isn't a wild card team. The Vikings, even if the Vikings were the 5 seed, that leaves 2 more. I think the Cardinals are a wild card team still. They should be a wild card team. I don't know if the 49ers are, again, considering their situation with Jimmy Garoppolo and whether Trey Lance is going to start. I don't know. I don't know if I don't have faith in the 49ers. I know what's coming next year. So trying to warn you. No, this is like, you've been watching the Bears for so long, Jason. Here's what I'll tell you. This is my message to you, Jason Harris. And I appreciate. I'm not trying to be mad at you. I appreciate you coming in here and showing love and being in the comments. I just want to say this about, you've been watching the Bears for so long, and many people have. And this is the difference about, the Chicago Bears and how they are operated now. And you can talk all you want about, coaches. These coaches or the GMs are the same. They're going to be here for 5 years and they're going to be gone. Well, guess what's not the same? The quarterback. The quarterback's not the same. This is the best quarterback the Chicago Bears have ever had. 100%. And when you have a great quarterback, nothing else matters. When you have a great quarterback, you can go to places you can shatter the norm. You can there's a phrase I'm looking for. You can shatter the God damn, what's the phrase? You know what I mean? You can rewrite history, man, for the Chicago Bears when you have a quarterback like Justin Fields. And that is why you don't know what's coming. That's why you don't know what's coming in the next 2 years. Poles did not try to warn us also. Poles said we are taking back the North. And if that's what he believes, then let's see it. And it's not like, again, the moves, and you can argue whether the moves reflect that. And I think they do to an extent. But again, I made the case, I didn't want them. I'd be pissed right now if they paid Christian Kirk $75 million. But I think there's people who would be happy because it's a name. It's not about names. It's about finding guys that fit your team and fit your system. You can do more with less when you have a good coaching staff. You can do more with less. You don't just need recognizable names, all these talented veteran players. No, you can take guys who are on their 3rd year of their contract, 5th year of their contract, rookie players who, when put into the right coaching staff and the right system that develops them correctly, can be better value and be better for your team than those recognizable names that you're paying $70 million. I don't know. It just blows things like that blow my mind. Like I think Byron Pringle's yardage could be comparable to Christian Kirk's this year. Like I do. I really do. And you can come back at here in next January and call me stupid, and maybe I'll look stupid, but I saw nothing from Christian Kirk that proved to me that he is a wide receiver one or worthy of $75 million. Would you rather have Justin Fields or Lamar Jackson? At the moment, I mean, at this very moment, I have to say Lamar Jackson, just because he's won an MVP. In 2 years, Justin Fields. Like, like if you're asking, it's interesting how you ask this question. Like, is it forever? Like, is it for the next 10 years? I'll take Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields has the ability to have a higher ceiling than Lamar Jackson, because Justin Fields also is best in the biggest moments, and so can Lamar Jackson be at times, but he hasn't done it yet in the playoffs. I think once Justin Fields gets to that point, he will be. But like, if you're asking me who I'd rather start like this season, I might say Lamar. I don't know. Now that I you know what, I'll just ride it out with Justin. I think Justin is a better player. He's got a better arm. He's better accuracy. He's a smarter player. I think this is a guy who just is going to be. I don't know if he'll ever win MVP like Lamar did, but I think he'll win. I think he'll win more playoffs games than Justin Fields. I don't know. Does that make me sound biased? Appreciate you, I am Scus. Late Night Bears Talk is great. How long are you going? I don't know, man. Probably like 10 more minutes or something until the comments stop coming through. Man, like all you guys that just came in, like all you guys who have came in this whole time, like I appreciate this. Is just I love this, man. Like I was literally on Twitter. I was like, yo, I'm gonna go live on Twitter on YouTube. Might as well answer some questions. And I talked earlier for the people who are here, who've been here from the jump. Like, we just try to have a good relationship with the people who watch us and people who view us, and try to answer some questions and try to be, transparent about who we are, and just be cool, man. Like, we don't want to be hiding behind a profile picture. We just like to have fun, interact with y'all and stuff. So that's what we're doing here, man. And that's why, like, I could do this all night, man. I literally could do this all night. Last comment, promise. Hey, no problem, Jason. Again, appreciate you coming in. You're the man for that. Chicago is a QB graveyard for a reason. The issue isn't the GM. The issue is the McCaskies. Yeah, the McCaskies, definitely, there's been problems with the McCaskies in the past. But when you think about now, what we know about the McCaskies is they have removed themselves from football interactions and football involvement and football, any sort of correlation, connection to football. There is no existence between that and the McCaskies. It's just not there anymore. So when you think about what happens now with football, like, this is Ryan Poles' team. This isn't George McCaskey interfering, causing you to say, causing guys to cut this player, that player. Like, no, like, there's certain organizations that operate that way. The Cowboys and Jerry Jones operate that way. I'm sure the Broncos and John Elway do. And there's certain, or not John Elway, he's the GM, not the owner. And certain situations where the owner is involved in the team more than they should be. But I think that was the case for the McCaskies in the past. But after the press conference this past January, we found out, he said it on the press conference. He says, I'm not involved anymore. So for that reason, I believe that, the whole, the issue is the McCaskies thing. Is that was true for the past. I don't think it's going to be true anymore. 100% tough question, Eric Fenton. I would love to see someone else's response to that. Would you rather have Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson? Again, I think in the long term, it is Justin Fields. It's hard to say no to Lamar Jackson like tomorrow, because he's done it. He's proven he's won MVP, and for many people, Justin Fields isn't unproven. I feel like I think, and I know he's going to be a really good player. It's just, it's projection versus proven. Bears are the most underrated team this year, IMO. I think they're 100% under. I mean, they're like, ESPN came out with the FPI, let's just, ESPN's like, let's just throw numbers into letters into an acronym and throw numbers onto a screen and get people's attention. Like, that's just what they do. Like, what the hell is an FPI rating? Can I get one person in the chat to tell me what an FPI rating is? Like, what does that even mean? Like, the Bears are minus 13 FPI rating. Oh, let's start a ruckus. Let's start, let's just start dialogue, and let's start discourse on social media because the Bears are minus 30. Like, no, that shit means nothing. But, there are people outside Bears, Bears fan. Oh, I'm back. Did I lag out a little bit, guys? I might lag out a little bit. That's my bad, guys. Am I back? I think I'm back. All right, my bad, guys. Well, I think I left off talking about ESPN's FPI rating and stuff. Like, it's a whole bunch of nothing. But it causes, like, those are things that cause the Bears to be an underrated team. Totally not biased. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Justin Fields versus Lamar Jackson response was biased either. But, I know there's going to be people who say that. That's the thing with football. We could talk Bears nonstop year round. That's why I love it, man. Like there's multiple periods where there's really sort of nothing to talk about, like right after the season while other teams are in the playoffs. Like it's not quite draft season. Then like this is one of those periods where like there's not a ton to talk about, although we've made a 54-minute show out of it. So I guess there is stuff to talk about. Schedule mainly. Ted Phillips isn't involved in football decisions anymore. It's a whole new world. 100%, man. You are 100% right, Eric. Like the fact that him and George McCaskey are removed from football decisions is big. I honestly think we can win 7-8 this year. I can't expect perfection the first time I see, but I'm completely optimistic. As long as it's better than as long as it's a tick. If it's a tick better than what we saw last year, it's an 8-win football team. It's an 8-win football team. I mean, you guys have to remember, like we forget, it's 6 months since we've watched, 5 months since we watched Bears football. You guys forget how bad it was. You do. Naturally, we do. Like this is like naturally we just forget. Like we forget how bad it really was last year. But if you remember how bad it was, it's not impossible to say, oh my God, it was that bad. The Bears can win 8 games this year if it's just slightly better. Like if we're just not running 4 curls every play, we might have a chance to score 25 points per game. Like it's not that hard. If we put our quarterback, who is extremely fast and one of the fastest in the league, on the run, we might have success considering all of his best plays in college and all of his best plays, not all of his best plays in college, but a lot of them and most of his best plays this year were him on the run. Think about that throw against the 49ers where he's throwing crossbody on the run. Think about, against the Steelers, he did that a number of times. Like, man. Slightly better offense than their 8-win team. Adam Hoog keeps saying don't discount how much a new scheme will help this team on both sides as well. Exactly. And I'm just a guy, if you guys want, Adam's take it from Adam Hoog if you don't want to take it from me. I mean, this like we are people. Like you have to understand, like and it's not just me. Like all you guys in the chat, like you watch this team, man. You freaking love this team. You watch this team. Like you see the same things I do. You see the same things. Like you know how much a better scheme will help this team on both sides of the ball. And I think scheme is part, like a new scheme is partially going to help the Bears on defense. I think a 4-3 defense is better overall and is going to be better for their team, and better for the team this year. But the problem, I think a lot of the problem with the defense last year was less of was a good amount about the scheme, but more about the lack of talent that they had there. Like it's just they just didn't have guys. I mean, Kendall Vildor was getting torched every play, and teams recognized that. I mean, Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins went, this is easy. Let's just run fade routes and inside the 20, it's a touchdown every time. Let's match up guys against Kendall Vildor or just expose the deep ball because no one knows how to tackle. Like, and it's little things too. Like it's the little things. Like it's tackling. It's if you watch a Jaquan Brisker breakdown, there's a play where he goes and it's a pin and pull from the Michigan offensive lineman, and Jaquan Brisker could have really just went right around the guy, and the running back would have scored like a 40-yard touchdown. Instead, he goes full effort into the offensive lineman, checks him, forces the running back to come inside where his linebacker is there to make the play. Like it's little things like that, man, that matter. That I don't know if the Bears were pinning in practices. So it's all those things that really matter. But I'm not only saying him because he was at OTAs. He said he could see it developing. Yeah, we'll see at OTAs. Yeah, I mean, it's been developing, man. Like, we know that. There he is. Kelly's still here. The little things, player position. You guys have to watch. I think we actually just put out a YouTube short and an Instagram reel. If you don't follow us on Instagram, it's Bears Nation Podcast on Instagram. We just put out a reel of those. Of that play that I just described about Jaquan Brisker. It's the little things, man. Player, do your job, man. Do your job. Like, I love Eddie Jackson to death. I think he's going to be a good player. He wasn't doing his job last year. He wasn't doing his job a lot of the time. Actually, I can't. I'm not going to say that about Eddie Jackson. I think there were certain points where he wasn't doing his job. I'm not going to say a lot of the time. And I think it's because collectively, a lot of players weren't doing that. And if you've ever been on a team, you know how that happens, man. Like it's hard to bust your ass all day, every day when the guy next to you is not doing it. Like those things feed off on each other, which is why you need leaders on the team. You need guys who are going to bust your ass every second. And I think Matt Eberflus noticed that and came in and said, look, you better get your fucking running shoes on, pardon my French, because we're going to run. And this is going to be a team that's going to have a whole lot of effort, no quit, and you're going to do your job every single play your position. So we all bond over the fact that we watch 30 hours of misery once a year. Yeah, it pretty much is 30 hours of misery. I mean, Not this year. I mean, that the thing is, like, the misery becomes less when you have a good quarterback. Like that. That's also very true. So hopefully that's the case. I'm Scott. If the O was terrible, 80% of Justin's highlights are scrambles mainly because of Nagy's offense. It's all schematic, and the personnel has more hustle now. Yeah, exactly. That's right. You're 100% right. Like I talked with Kellen about this on draft day. I was like, the O line was bad for sure, but the O line goes hand in hand with offensive scheme and the idea that, if your guys aren't getting open, Justin Fields unfortunately can't sit in the pocket for longer, and then has to roll out, and then it's, well, the O line's forcing him out, or the O line's causing him to get sacked. Well, guess what? Everyone's like, well, Tom Brady's getting the ball out in 1.5 seconds. Aaron Rodgers getting the ball in 1.5 seconds. Well, if Devontae Adams is right there running a slant route, getting open in 1.5 seconds, then you don't need your offensive line to hold up longer because the guy is open. 48 to 50 hours, Shade. Yeah, yeah. And I'll do it again, and you'll do it again. Whether they're 0-17 or 17-0, you'll do it again. You know you will. You know you'll watch them. That is just what we do. That's what all fans do. Unless you're a fan of what's a team that really just sucks year after year? I don't know. The Jets? Unless you're a Jets fan, that's when things might get unbearable. What do you want our captains to be next year? This is actually a really good point. Probably take a couple more questions when we head out of here. What do you want our captains to be next year? Who, rather? Roquan Smith, Darnell Mooney, and Justin Fields. Well, actually, no. It has to be. What does that have to be? Shit, I don't know. Roquan Smith, Justin Fields, Darnell Mooney, and Jalen Johnson. Does there need to be 4? I don't even know. 200 views in 2 hours and it dropped at 10 p.m. Central Time. That's what I'm talking about, Kellen. We have views coming in on the Jaquan Brisker video. I will freaking promote it again. Watch it, Jaquan Brisker breakdown video. Again, Kellen, the best in the game. Nobody's doing a breakdown like what Kellen did on Jaquan Brisker. And I'm just there to add some stats and a little bit of knowledge. Not a lot, just a little bit. But yeah, Shane, I like Roquan Smith, Justin Fields, Darnell Mooney, and maybe Eddie Jackson, maybe Jalen Johnson. Holy smokes. I played against Aiden Johnson in high school. Really, 007? That's freaking dope. What did he do? Did he play wide receiver in high school too? He played 2 ways? Or was he just a corner? Did you go up against him? That's what I would like to know. We'll be watching the Bears to the end of time. What's the next show? Next show, man. Actually, this is a good time to promote this too. Next show tomorrow. Me and Kellen are going live tomorrow. I don't remember exactly what time. We're going live tomorrow, and we are doing a live breakdown of Dominique Robinson. We thought, we're going to put it on YouTube anyway, but we might as well go live with it. So we're doing a live breakdown tomorrow. Dominique Robinson. So be on the lookout for that. Kellen, I don't know what time you want to do that if you're in the chat still. Figure that out. Robert Quinn, Roquan Monty Fields. I would like those captains as well. Robert Quinn probably would be one. He's a veteran guy, just at the SAT record. He's he won I think he won the award for best guy, I forget the award they call it. I think he's the best guy with the media and stuff too. He's just a great guy. He's a good guy to be a captain. Basketball. He was their PG. They won the CIF state. What is CIF? CIF. I don't know what CIF is. Basketball. That's sick, man. Jalen, what position you play point? Oh, you said it. Play point guard. Was he good? Was he splashing at home? Dribbling? Dunking, probably? Yeah, Johnson, my boy, he's raw. Yeah, I bet he is, man. That's awesome. That's freaking dope that you played him in basketball, dude. Piccolo Award. That's what it was. Piccolo Award. Brian Piccolo. I want to say it, but I didn't want to be wrong. I thought that was a national award. I want to say that was a national award. But Brian Piccolo Award. There you go. 3 to 4. All right. 3 or 4 o'clock, you guys. Be on the lookout for it tomorrow. Dominique Robinson breakdown video live. We're going to get that going, and then we'll turn that on a YouTube video as well for those who can't make it live. If you can't make it, it's all good. We love you anyway if you come in afterwards or if you come in during the breakdown, but we do like to see your comments and stuff. We do like to see people coming in live, and just, man, you guys are just crazy. Let me shout out everyone one more time. Shane M 007, I am Scott, Kellen is in here, Eric Fenton, Jay Sanders, man. We had the Hulk in here earlier. We had Ninos Adam who popped in with a question. Bateau, who was in here earlier. You guys are T-Hulk. That was his name, not the Hulk. Crazy, man. You guys are dope, man. Shane might be there. Shane, you are incredible, and all you guys are incredible for just tuning in literally just like midnight on a freaking Thursday. I was like, let's go live, and you guys showed up and showed out. So I'm gonna probably hop off now. Appreciate you guys for coming in. Again, we just like, man, we may be able to do this again. You never know. Like, I thought it was kind of fun. I was really just literally, I was trying to just, I had the idea because I want to test out my new angle of my cam and, my camera here, and just trying to see how this will work out. I got a new camera up here, for the streams and stuff. Do you guys think it looks clear? I think it looks better than like the regular Apple camera, right? And I think I like it from the higher angle. Sometimes it's weird if it's like a lower angle and I don't know. I think the higher angle is better. You can kind of see more, and you can just get a better look at it. But, again, appreciate the love, y'all. Bears, Shane M, Bear Down, Eric Fenton, you the man. All right, y'all. Gonna play this outro real quick, and we'll see you tomorrow, 3 to 4 Central Time. Dominique Robinson breakdown video live, and the Jaquan Brisker breakdown just went out about 2 hours ago. That's already gaining traction, so don't miss out on that either. But we'll see you guys. See you guys tomorrow. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.